All right, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through these blockchains every single day, and we're back at it again today on Tuesday, May 13th. The altcoins are once again running, and we're going to be covering here different altcoins, different technical analysis, and what the Crypto Citadel has been up to so far. So make sure you guys are dropping your questions down into the chat. If you haven't started already, definitely do so. We'll be covering some different altcoins and overall what is happening in the Bitcoin market today. Obviously, Bitcoin is leading the way. If you know where Bitcoin's going, you know where the altcoins are going as well. So if we jump quickly over here to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin today, overnight, came down to around 101,400 and started pumping back up into the previous day range, hit our target of the day of 103. 103.110 and 103.982 before making another test at the previous week high right here. We certainly front run, kind of just slightly tapped to the previous week high before pulling back right now. And since then, the altcoins have pulled back just a little bit. Now, last night in the Crypto Citadel, I made updates about these exact same moves here. As you guys can see here, right here, yesterday, starting with the Bitcoin dominance, said, hey, 8:34 p.m. Eastern yesterday, I was looking for a sweep to the down low, the previous day low before pushing back up. We actually got hit. We actually hit the gold pocket that was right around here before pushing back up. So that played out just as we expected. Ethereum as well came down to the previous day lows before pushing back up to 6,500. We hit those targets today, as you guys can see right here on the Ethereum chart. What did we do on the 15-minute? Well, we did exactly what I was talking about that I was looking for in the Crypto Citadel, which is exactly this. We came down to the previous day low. This was the area to go long, and boom, went all the way up even higher than I expected, breaking above the previous week high, which is very critical for Ethereum to continue pumping here. And since then, it came all the way up to our next main target of 27.11. Now, our next major target for Ethereum to the upside is about $2,900. $2,900 is the next major move to the upside once we start getting above 27.11. The fact that we are above the previous week high is extremely, extremely bullish for Ethereum here. So later today at 8 p.m. Eastern, when the daily trades session ends and we got a new daily candle, we're going to be making more updates for the crypto Citadel. Also made some more updates about Solana, about even XRP, right? XRP did a very similar thing as well, where Solana and XRP playing out pretty much exactly the same as a lot of these things because they're all following Bitcoin, right? What did XRP do? XRP came down, hit its previous day low. Wait, where is it? Where is my? This is in my daily trade chart. Where is it? I'm just gonna go with this one. So over here in the technical analysis, we were looking to come down to the previous day low. Where did that chart go? This chart doesn't even look the same. But it's okay. We didn't come as low as expected. We came here down to the quarterly average, hit that back above the previous week high, which is also very bullish, and is making a run for the Monday high again at 265 for XRP. XRP does have a macro gold pocket sitting up here at 277 that we need to be aware of on the longer term of things. Back over here to Bitcoin. Let me start jumping into the chat saying hello to everybody. Appreciate all of you guys jumping in here. You think Solana will go down to 155 or 150? Let's see here. We kind of talked about that in the Crypto Citadel this morning. We had an exclusive almost 2-hour session live covering a lot of different targets. So 155 right now here on the macro, Solana is starting to run, right? It's right above the what is this? This is the previous week range. We're currently right above the previous week range here for Solana right now. Solana, for it to go down to about 150 to 155, we need to come back down into the previous week range and drop, right? Our two targets to the downside within the previous week range here are 165 and 158. But you're talking about 150. About 150 would be if we rotated the entire previous week range to the downside. That would be a total pullback of about, from where we're at right now, down to the bottom of this previous day range is about 18.5% drop to the downside. The only way I see altcoins dropping 18+% is if Bitcoin loses 100K and starts dropping below 99,000 towards that 96,000, which basically if Bitcoin were to be doing that, Bitcoin would also be, if we zoom out here to the 1 hour, right? For Bitcoin to do that, Bitcoin is in a similar situation where if we're going to see Solana dropped to 150, 155, Bitcoin right now would have to pull back, drop out of its previous day range, and start. We are still within the current, the previous week range, right? And we start dropping back down below the weekly average of 100, which we SFP'd on, right? If we drop below that, our next target is 99, and then if we fully rotate this range to the downside, we're looking at $97,000 Bitcoin. Now that is a total drop from where we're at right now to down here would be about almost 7%. So a 7% drop in Bitcoin could definitely lead to a 18% drop, right? Almost double, a little bit more than double the drop for the altcoins. So that is the only way I see Solana coming down to 150 is if Bitcoin rotates its previous week range all the way to the downside. Right now, we are literally testing its value area high. We got a little bit of rejection here on the last 2 hours. And we've pulled back from it once again, but honestly, it's looking very strong right now. So unless this rest of the week starts to change up again, we start coming back down pretty fast. It looks like Bitcoin wants to break out of this range and start making a run for 108. Let's see here, BTC prediction. Depending on the time frame, RGB. So overall, my long-term thesis on Bitcoin, right, is very simple. I do believe that we're going to hit about 150 to 200,000 within the next 12 to 18 months for Bitcoin. When is it going to happen exactly? I don't know. So far, quarter 2 has been very bullish compared to quarter 1 of 2025. I think quarter 4 of 2025 could also be very, very bullish. With that being said, I think 2026 could also be a lot more bullish than people expect. People are expecting 2025 to be it and it's over, and maybe they're right. But so far, I don't think so. And the main reason for that is for Ethereum. Ethereum is having literally a multi-year reversal on its Bitcoin versus Ethereum chart, its Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. And that reversal is literally starting to play out now. And that reversal is going to take potentially 1 to 2 years to play out completely. So that being said, that means that a rally into 2026 is probable. Let's see here. You think there would be a reset? What do you mean by a reset? You mean like a complete wipeout? There is a possibility for Bitcoin to drop down to 91,000 and retest that value area low for the quarter 1 range, right? There is a possibility for that. If we look at the chart here, jump out to the daily, right? We're near value area high for quarter 1. There is a possibility to, if you would call for a reset, right, would be dropping back down towards the value area low of quarter 1, which is around 91,000 to 90,000. Excuse me, guys. And that would definitely wipe out a lot of longs. It would wipe out a lot of people out of the market. People will get extremely bearish, but there is should be some strong support here on this area. I'm not foreseeing that pullback just yet. I think we have a little bit higher to go first before pulling back to something significant like that. So that's just my thesis right now. I'm not foreseeing any instant, immediate resets, right? I know a lot of people are looking for those dips, are looking for those pullbacks. They're like, please pull back, please pull back. I want to buy. But the honestly is you had 3 months to buy at very low prices at 80% discount prices on altcoins. And most people didn't do it out of fear, out of, just simple fact that they thought it was going to go lower and lower and lower, and they weren't making any money. People get discouraged. People jump out of the market. They stop paying attention. And then when the market starts turning around and we start pumping, everyone's like, oh, I want another pullback. But when you get that pullback, people start panicking. Let's see here. How does the forecast look the next hours? It's not so much like that. It's not like it's a crystal ball that I can just rub and be like, all right, in the next 2 hours, this exact thing is going to happen. Most of the trading day has already played out. Bitcoin has done its thing throughout the day. Right now, it's just kind of going sideways, pulling a little bit back here from this monthly point of control here of 104,888. I just expect it to continue chopping here. We have another 2 hours before the trading day is over and the new trading day begins and the Asia trading session starts. And then we'll get a whole new data range for this whole entire day. We'll get some new data to look at, and we'll take it from there. And I'll continue making more updates in the Crypto Citadel about that. Let me keep reading here through the chat. I appreciate every single one of you guys in here, smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. I'm Blockchain Crusader. If this is the first time you're watching here, and we crusade through these blockchains every single day. If you're not part of the Crypto Citadel, definitely do so and join. You guys are missing out. Currently, right now, I'm in a swing trade for Uniswap. So I believe that Ethereum is going to keep running here. Ethereum has been performing very well, and Uniswap, right, is going to continue following along with Bitcoin. With Ethereum. Ethereum is currently, finding some support here around this 661. So I'm looking for the next target to be around 875. I'm looking for this swing trade. I'm good to play out. I'm willing to dollar cost average if it continues to pull back into this red zone here of resistance where we have a gold pocket retracement down to 578. I'm willing to dollar cost average this trade down here as a swing trade back up to 875 because I do believe we're going to make a nice run for Uniswap here as Ethereum continues to run. And Ethereum is showing nothing but strength here, right? Nothing but strength, being above its previous day range, being above its previous week range, holding very strong support here. Obviously, we hit 27.11, and then we had a little bit of a retracement since then, but I honestly think it's going to run for that 29.23. And that run is going to help Uniswap get over to that 875. Is it alt season already? Guys, alt season has definitely started to happen, right? It's not the alt season where it's up only. It's not up only season, right? Things will pull back, but Bitcoin is on its way for a new all-time high. We're above 100,000, which is extremely bullish. We're still sitting below an all-time high, right? The all-time high for Bitcoin is over $109,888, meaning we are currently right now from the current price action. We are, what are we? We are 5.47% before an all-time high, 6% to an all-time high, guys. 6% to an all-time high, literally $6,000 away, $6,500 away from a new all-time high for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance, on the other hand, is very far from its all-time highs, and it is magnifique, right? We want to see Bitcoin dominance dropping. Bitcoin dominance has continued to drop here today, and as we continue to see Bitcoin dominance dropping, this is the 3 steps to altcoin season, right? Bitcoin starts making new all-time highs. It's not there just yet, but it's almost there. It's above 100,000, which is extremely bullish, right? Chopping sideways, which is step number 2. That is what Bitcoin's price has been doing, chopping sideways above 100,000. And what happens third step is Bitcoin dominance dropping. Bitcoin dominance dropping, topping out here around 65.5% almost. Now we have re-entered the Q1 range of Bitcoin dominance. Our next targets here are around 61%. And if we fully rotate this range to the downside, we're looking at 59 to 58% for Bitcoin dominance, which will definitely continue to allow altcoins to rally. And I'm keeping a very close eye on Ethereum, as Ethereum is probably one of the bigger leaders here as the altcoin king that is going to start making a massive rally. And that is definitely going to help altcoins continue rallying. And I have to keep an eye on Ethereum if I want to keep an eye on my Uniswap trade. That's just the way it is. How would we know when we are at peak before the dip? Brian, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows exactly this is the dip. But what you do is, right, as a technical analysis, you look at the charts, you look at when things start to get overbought, right, and you start to de-risk. Markets will always stay irrational. Things can get very overbought, and you're like, it's going to pull back, and then Bitcoin pumps another $10,000. It's going to pull back, and it keeps pumping, right? So, and that continues the altcoins to pump. But at some point, there will always be indicators. Some indicators outside of technicals is once these live streams have like almost 1,000 people in it, right? Back in December, November, I had 1,000 people in these live streams, right? 1,000 people watching. That was a massive indicator that we were at a very local top there. Another massive indicator is when you are buying absolutely anything and it pumps, no matter, even though I already had pumped 200%, and then you buy it and it continues pumping another 200%, right? And everybody's making money, nobody's losing, everything is printing. That right there is indicator number 2, right? If everybody's making money, if everybody's in the green, at some point, the big players are going to start taking profits. The big players are moving millions of dollars, right? They will start dumping and they will crash the market and they will create a pullback. So you got to keep that to yourself, right? If you start seeing that everyone's happy, everyone's portfolio is up 50, 60%, everybody's printing, no matter what you buy, it pumps and it continues rallying. Those are times to start taking some profits and start de-risking. Obviously, if you start looking at the technicals, you start looking at things being overbought, you start looking at things, hitting certain targets. Obviously, when Bitcoin's in price discovery, you start looking for targets to the upside for the altcoins, which is what we do in the Crypto Citadel, right? In the Crypto Citadel, this is what the purpose of all this macro analysis is for. All this macro analysis is to show targets to the upside. So as Bitcoin hits price discovery, most altcoins are not going to be hitting price discovery. They're going to be retracing and hitting all these previous targets that are left to the upside. And that is the time that you start thinking, oh, wait a minute, right? We're hitting a lot of these targets. A lot of these targets are being filled. Oh, let me start taking some profits, right? That's what the macro analysis is for in the Crypto Citadel. I know all of you guys don't have access to charts. That's why groups like mine, the Crypto Citadel, exist so that you can get access to this, so that you can game plan, and so that you can start to realize, hey, maybe I should start taking some profits here, right? And be able to game plan accordingly and not just blindly react to the market and just think, okay, up only forever and never take profits, right? And that's the biggest problem here in crypto, is that people get married to their assets, get married to their bags, and they never take profits, and then it goes back on them. What do you think about ETH? Do you think it'll go to all-time highs? Yes, I do believe Ethereum is going to hit all-time highs. If we jump out here to the daily, Ethereum is very close to running towards this Q1 value area high. I do expect a little bit of resistance here between around $2,900. Breaking above that, we're going to be hitting our next macro targets here, which are between $3,000 and $3,182. This area right here for Ethereum is basically the same equivalent to Bitcoin hitting 96 to 97,000. Remember when we were hitting that area and I was saying, hey, this is extremely critical. Either we flip this area and it keeps rallying, or we get rejected here and it has a significant pullback. That's going to be the equivalent here for Ethereum, right? Flipping this area of 3182, flipping this area and going higher will definitely show that Ethereum is going to run towards that $4,000 range, and its all-time high is at 4,800. So not too much further above that. We're pretty much going to be running for all-time highs. All of 2024, we've been rejected around $4,000, right? Look at this. Back in March, right? 2024 March, we peaked out at 4,000. Then back in May, we peaked out at 3,900. Then back in December, we peaked out at 4,000 again. So this area here, flipping 3182, is gonna give us an indicator whether we're going to come up to 4,000 again and see if we can finally break this resistance and run for all-time highs, or we get rejected here and we pull back, right? So we will see there. We will see what happens for Ethereum. But yes, I do believe overall, long term, right, next 12 to 18 months, I do believe Ethereum will have the possibility to make a new all-time high. How high do you predict XRP can reach this run? Brian, everybody wants to know how high things can go. Remember, these are price predictions. These are not price facts. We have to take it level by level. That's what the purpose of the charts are for, right? Our targets for XRP in the Crypto Citadel, if you're paying attention in there, is, well, if you're in there, most of you probably are not, right? Targets for XRP to the upside on the macro side is, right now we have a macro gold pocket at 277. If we can flip 277, we have a possibility to run for $3.10. Now, long-term, long-term overall bull market status, 12 to 18 months, whatever, yada, yada, maybe even a little bit closer to the end of this year, whatever it is, right? Depending how strong this rally really is. Long term, I think $4 to $5, even $6 is potentially possible for XRP. I know a lot of people want $20, $100, $589. None of that's real. None of that's ever going to happen. I know a lot of people are talking about $10. $10 is potentially possible, but I believe that's going to be a more realistic possibility 5 years down the line, right? Maybe by 2030 or something like that, XRP can hit $10. That'd be about $1 trillion market cap, right? From where it's at right now, that's like a 10x. That's like a 10x from where it's at, because its market cap is at about 150, 140,000, 140 to 150 million dollar market cap. We're talking about reaching $1 trillion. That's almost a 10x. It's slightly shy of a 10x for XRP. I don't believe it's going to do that this run, right? It's gotten all the news it needs. And it's gotten all the, the SEC thing being over, yada, yada, all this stuff. And yet XRP still can't rally unless Bitcoin rallies. You guys paying attention to that, right? If Bitcoin doesn't rally, XRP doesn't rally. You guys are paying attention to that, right? Let me say it one more time. For everybody out there thinking that XRP is just going to do its own thing, it doesn't, and it won't, and it's proven to you time and time and time again. Yes, XRP has held good support since December at around $2 to about $2.60 when it dropped its lowest around, I think it was March time. But overall, why didn't XRP just do its own thing? Why didn't XRP just completely decouple and keep running? Because it's an altcoin. It will always depend on Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin moves, XRP will move. So I don't see XRP running to $1 trillion market cap, right, in the next 12 to 18 months. That's just way too drastic. The times for hundreds of X's and tens of X's, right, 50X, 20X, 30X, that's not realistic at this point in time in the market for me personally. I believe in the next 12 to 18 months, 5 to 10 X's on smaller caps is very possible. On the very large caps, right, we're looking at 2 to 3 X's, right, to the upside, the large billion-dollar market cap ones. I don't see 20 X's. I don't see a 10X happening in the next 12 months for XRP. Let's see here. Near protocol. A lot of people have been talking about Near protocol. Near has definitely had some movement. We were talking about it in the Crypto Citadel today. A lot of people were asking me about it today in the Crypto Citadel. I need to post its macro chart actually in the Crypto Citadel. I haven't been able to do that just yet. Give me a quick little second here. All right, boom. I'm back. I'm new to crypto. I don't know what I should invest in now. Can you help? Guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to buy, what not to buy, right? All you need to know is that if you're new right now and you haven't been buying, or you were buying but you were down, and when everything was down at 76,000 for Bitcoin and you didn't buy anything and now we're back up, now is not the time to buy. Now's the time to wait for a pullback. You're going to miss out on some bullish momentum. It's okay. It's worse if you start allocating capital right now. We pump a little bit, another 10, 15%. Everybody gets super excited. Altcoins pump another 20, 30, 40%. And then, boom, we got a major correction with Bitcoin. Bitcoin pulls down to 91,000. Altcoins get completely smashed, and you're once again back underwater because you're not going to take profits on a 15 to 30% pump from where we're at right now. You're thinking it's going to go higher and higher, and you want more money, right? So right now, it's not the time to buy. I say it every single time. I do not buy on green days. I don't buy. I take trades, some swing trades, some potential, day trades, stuff like that. But buying spot, I'm not buying jack squat at spot right now, right? Because things are already up, right? In the last month, look at this. Everything is up over 50%. 50%, 20, 40, 60, 100, 200, 300, right? All these massive rallies. I'm not buying this. I'm buying when things are red. When things were red in March, when things were red in April, when altcoins were down 80%, when Aerodrome, right? When Aerodrome was down at 32 cents, right? 37 cents on April 16th, that was the time to be buying Aerodrome. Not at 80 cents now. Because then if you buy at 80 cents and it pulls back down to 40, you're like, oh man, this sucks. Aerodrome sucks. Aerodrome doesn't suck. You just have terrible timing. You're not paying attention to the market when you're supposed to. Mega Lee, what's going on? Bak, how's appreciate all you guys jumping in here. Need to get more cock-a-doodle-doo. What's going on, man? What's going on? So just be very aware of that. Let's keep on going. But if Bitcoin hits all-time high, ETH will too, right? So far, Bitcoin has hit multiple all-time highs, and Ethereum still hasn't hit an all-time high. Why? Because the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart has been not in Ethereum's, favor. As you can see here, right? So if we start jumping out here, right? This is the Bitcoin. This is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. As you guys can see, since 2023, 2022, Ethereum versus Bitcoin has been dropping, meaning Bitcoin's been outperforming Ethereum. Ethereum has not been outperforming Bitcoin. As of just recently, right, as of May 7th, May 8th, when Ethereum started to break back to the upside, this started to reverse. Ethereum is now performing better than Bitcoin is, right? So what are our next targets to the upside? We have a target here, a quarterly average pretty soon here at 0.027. Then above that is, we don't have another target until 0.043, which enters back in the quarter one range, or I should say the 2024 yearly range, not the quarter one range, the yearly range, right, where we have a lot more targets to the upside, right? And that is a move from where we are right now to up here is 65%. That's not 65% price move. That's just Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin by 65 more percent. And, you know, moving a lot higher. And that's going to take time. Just how it's taken multiple years to get down here, it's going to take months, right? It's going to take months to get up here and start making a massive rally to the upside for Ethereum. So meanwhile, Bitcoin dominance continues to drop. I believe altcoins are going to continue rallying. Altcoins continue rallying. It will lead Ethereum to continue pushing to the upside here. Pudgy Penguin will do better than XRP. Pudgy Penguin's already done better than XRP. Let's go take a look at Pudgy Penguin here. Pudgy Penguins is up 193% on the month. On the month alone, up 193%. Let's go take a look at XRP. XRP is up 22% in the month, right? Obviously, we're comparing apples to oranges here. This thing is $150 billion market cap, right? It's up 400% in the year so far for XRP. Pudgy's is only up 193, but it's up 193 in the month, and it is only a $900 million market cap. It's nowhere near the same market cap as XRP, but yes, there's definitely a lot of altcoins that are going to outperform XRP. I would not be buying XRP at $2.50 or $2.60, whatever it is right now. It is definitely not the time to be buying. Whoa, the chat is flying here. You think Bitcoin will pull back to 98,000? There is a possibility for a pullback to 98,000. I have covered this here a few times here already, but I'll do another quick little run through with it. So Bitcoin right now, right, we are within the previous week range for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting rejected off the value area high of the previous week range. We're getting rejected off 104,000, but yesterday we SFP'd swing failure pattern of this weekly average here around the 100,000, which is a very strong bottoming pattern, right? We even came back down, created a little bit of a double bottom here, as you guys can see on the 1 hour, right? Where's my drawing tool? So we see one bottom, two bottom, double booty cheek action, double bottom, boom, move to the upside, right? So that being said, unless that gets invalidated, right, we are not going to be pulling back down lower. Now, we do have a target down at 99,000. If for whatever reason Bitcoin does rotate this range all the way to the downside, there is the downside of this previous week range will take us all the way down to 97 to about $96,000 range for Bitcoin, which will definitely have a significant pullback in the altcoins. And if people are looking for pullbacks, that would be a time to start paying attention. I know you can't see my chart, right? My chart is available over on the YouTube's X and Instagram, but and obviously in the Crypto Citadel. If you guys are not already there, definitely start joining the Crypto Citadel. You can get 50% off your first month with the promo code Citadel, right? We are doing macro long-term analysis for people that are looking for targets to the upside so they can be able to take some profits, looking for targets to the downside to potentially dollar cost average and continue to build out their portfolio at better strategic points in time in the market. Obviously, we do exclusive live streams. We did one this morning at 10 a.m., almost a 2-hour session. We do exclusive live tradings. We do trading signals, right? We do daily trade setups. Just yesterday, we did 4 daily trade setups, one for Bitcoin, one for Ethereum, for Solana, and XRP. And all 4 of them have played out just how we were talking about last night in the Crypto Citadel. So if you want to get data, right? If you want to get analysis, if you want to get charts, if you want to get targets, if you want to know where the market is going, that's what you need. You need to be in the Crypto Citadel. It's really that simple. Do you believe ETH will hit 5K this bull run? Yes, Lance. I definitely believe Ethereum will hit 5K this time. Where do you see ADA in the short term? ADA in the short term. Oh, and by the way, if you're in the Crypto Citadel, you also get access to my custom trading indicators, in case you didn't know that. Okay, let's see here. Oh, this is the weekly. Let's jump down to the daily. Let's take a quick look here. So ADA has had a nice little move of up at 83 cents right now. Our next big move is entering this resistance zone between 94 to $1.01, right? Breaking above $1.01 puts us back into the dollar range, puts us really back above at local highs, right, from December. We have not spent a lot of time above $1, just a brief period in time in January and a brief period in time in November going into December for a short period of time. Just maybe a week or two at a time, right? Last time we were above it was in March, when we had the big news about the Bitcoin, the altcoin stockpile reserve or whatever, and ADA was mentioned. It had a quick run up to $1.17. So getting back above $1, very critical. That gives us an ability to run back towards an untapped target of $1.20. And then above $1.20, we have room to run to 150, potentially up to 178 before starting to get back above $2. Well, we will see if ADA can do that. We will see. Do you think bull run will be this summer or end of year? I mean, I think end of year is always a very good time for the market. We always see strong rallies happen. Sometimes they end a little early, right? Sometimes they don't end at the end of December. They end in November or something like that. So I definitely think that meanwhile, Q2 stays strong. I think Q3 might be a little, kind of sideways action, a little boring, right? Q3 starts at the end of June, starting July. So July, August, September could be a sideways commotion, but we will see. We still have a lot of time left in Q2. We still have the rest. We still have half of May, and we have the rest of June to play out. So we can see we're definitely going to see some choppiness, guys. It's not going to be up only. We're definitely going to have rallies like we're having now. We're definitely going to have moments where we pull back, right? And this is all going to be playing out throughout Q2 to Q3. And then obviously leading into Q4, I think Q4 is going to gain some strength again, and we're going to have some rallies. Do you think we retrace to the highs of earlier this year? For altcoins, not all the altcoins are going to make it back to the previous all-time highs. Why do I say that? Because some altcoins have been experiencing major token unlocks, right? Ondo, Aerodrome, and a lot of other ones have had token unlocks, which kind of messes up with their inflation. Sorry about that. It kind of messes up with their token supply and their level of inflation, right? So it makes coins harder to get to previous all-time high prices. But nonetheless, I still believe Ondo can make it up to like 165, close to $2. I think Aerodrome has targets somewhere around there as well, maybe a little bit lower. So I definitely think that altcoins are definitely going to make a rally towards those all-time highs. We will see if we can break those all-time highs. Coinbase and S&P 500. That's right. Coinbase entering the S&P 500. That does worry me. Let me tell you why. Coinbase has been a top signal lately in the recent past. Back in 2021, 2022, when Coinbase IPO'd in the stock market and they released their stock, right, to the stock market, that was literally a top. And that was also in the May. It was like in May, April time. And that was literally that was the first top when we reached like 57,000 and then we pulled back. And then we had a massive pullback throughout the rest of the year until the end of Q4 when we rallied again back up to like 60,000 and then we pulled back. So now that the Coinbase is being added to the S&P 500, it's giving me a lot of PTSD reminders of what that felt like when Coinbase IPO'd. So I am worried about it. That is why I'm saying that things are going to be choppy. Things are not going to be up only season throughout the rest of Q2 and entering Q3. We're definitely going to see some choppiness. If you bought by accident XRP and ETH just now, would you hold it or sell it? All right. If I was buying Ethereum right now, I'm holding long term. I think long term Ethereum is going to play out. Ethereum has proven its worth, right? XRP also, I would say I would hold. I obviously, if you're buying any of these right now, you have to be mentally prepared. You're going to need to dollar cost average to bring those averages down. You're going to experience moments in time when it goes negative, when it goes way below your entry point. And if you're not dollar cost averaging, you're setting yourself up to fail, right? Because you're not building your portfolio and bringing that average down when we start experiencing lower price action, which is what you need so you can maximize gains on the way back up to your initial entry and above. So you can hold those two right now, and you can hold them for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think XRP is going to go away in 3 to 5 years or anything like that, right? We're seeing a lot of news about ETFs and all that stuff with XRP. So that alone makes me believe that XRP is not going to go away. But do be aware that you're going to have to dollar cost average aggressively during the times where you're below your entry, because there will be times that you're going to be below your entry now, because this is not the opportune time to be buying. AI agents making all-time high. Maybe not all the AI agents, but AI agents nonetheless are definitely going to be running, right? AI agents, AI overall, look like AI 16Z, right? Up 44% this week, 194% this month. Right, that's just an AI agent. We have virtual protocol up practically almost 300% this month. Right, major rally, one that we were definitely talking about in the Crypto Citadel long before that rally occurred. Right, if we look over here on the macro charts, when was the last time we talked about virtuals? Where's virtuals at? Most recent time we talked about virtuals was on May 7th. May 7th, virtuals is down at 135. Virtuals is now above $2, right? Big rally for virtuals right there in the Crypto Citadel. Another one that has been rallying is AIXBT, right? Up 37.8% this week, 171% this month. We're going to be seeing Griffane. I don't know how people pronounce that. Right, up 158% this week, practically 400% this month. We're going to see a lot of AI agents continuing to run. AI overall, it's extremely bullish, and AI agents is a subsector within the AI narrative that is very, very aggressive on price fluctuation. I anticipate that ETH is going to reach 4K midterm. What do you think? Midterm of what? Midterm of this year or midterm of what? I've seen some pretty good traders Bitcoin predictions, and it looks like a dump is coming either tomorrow. A dump is coming tomorrow. I mean, at any point in time, we can pull back. Obviously, we're hitting the value area high of the previous week range, right? We are hitting some highs here where we're facing some resistance, right? There's definitely another major target up to 108 that we can run up to before pulling back. There's definitely areas to pull back, right? Bitcoin's had a massive rally in the last month, right? In the last month, Bitcoin is up 24.8%. 24.8%, guys. On April 16th, we were at 83,000, and now we're sitting above 104,000, right? This is no joke. This is a massive move for Bitcoin. It doesn't seem big because we're used to all the altcoins having, hundreds of percent to the upside in a month, like it's no big deal. But this is extremely aggressive for Bitcoin to the upside. So we definitely can have retraces. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what those traders are looking at, but yes, the possibility of retracement can happen. It is there. We do have targets down to 96, 97,000. Let's see here. Yes, hold and be prepared to buy on next dips to get my average price lower, as I understood. Yep, 100%. The only dump I better see is coming when I get home. Jeez. Toshi. What the heck is Toshi? Toshi looks like some type of meme coin. Up market cap is 354 million, up 162% on the month, 136% on the week. Major rally. So guys, looking at stuff like this, right? If you get into these meme coins or whatever they are, right, and you've experienced 100-something% move in a week, if you're not taking profits, obviously not financial advice, but think about this. If you experienced 100-something% move already, right? If you got in before this 100% move and you get 100+% move in less than 7 days, and you're not thinking about taking profits, you're not thinking about pulling out your initials, right? You are setting yourself up to fail. This is why most people stay broke, because they get married. Oh, we pumped 136% in a week. By the end of the month, we're going to be up 500%. And that's not necessarily true. It could definitely pull back just as fast as it pumped back up, right? So just, word to the wise out there, always be thinking about taking profits. If you ain't thinking about taking profits, somebody else is, and somebody else will. Have you ever heard of leverage tokens on KuCoin? You mean trading leverage? Can we see 115K Bitcoin by end of month? If Bitcoin really does have a major rally to the upside and just completely breaks out in the next 2 weeks, could happen. We've seen larger moves in a shorter period of time. I don't necessarily think we will, but the possibility exists. ETH topped for now. We'll see about that. Let's see. Let's go take a look at Ethereum here again. Oops. Ethereum chart. Ethereum making a move back up towards that 2,700. We're currently sitting at 2,699. So far, so good. So far, so good. We'll see here. But next target is 29.23. I can tell you that. See how Uniswap is doing right now. Uniswap is at 716. Let's go. Uniswap up 45% this week. Let's go, Uniswap. Dark, appreciate it. Says YouTube stream goated. Appreciate it, man. Chainlink. Chainlink, dude. So Link is definitely one of the big players, right? Though if there's ever something that's going to take over the Swift system, I think it would be Chainlink. Chainlink is currently sitting at $17.62. Let's go take a quick look here at his chart. All right, here we go. Let's jump out here to the daily. So Chainlink had a rally from 13 cents back, $13, sorry, when it was within its April range back in May. We talked about it in the Crypto Citadel, as you guys can see right around here. Where is Chainlink at? Right here. Talked about it on May 7th. Right, Chainlink was down at 1365. We were talking about targets between 1752 and 1809 with the targets to the upside. And guess what? We've hit our first target. We're about to hit, we're soon going to hit $18.09. We've had a nice little retracement once we hit it the first time down to the 382 of 1615. We're bouncing back up again above 18 cents. We need to clear this zone right here. I don't know why this zone is not in the red. Give me a second. We need to flip this area of resistance here around $20, and then we have a macro gold pocket for Chainlink up at 23.65 to the upside. So those are our local targets right now for Chainlink. Guys, if you're not in the Crypto Citadel, I'm telling you, you guys are missing out. You guys are seeing the receipts right there for yourself of the macro targets that we've been looking at, and the macro targets literally hitting. And if you literally don't have a game plan and you're just blindly reacting to these markets, you are setting yourself up to fail. I'm sorry, but not everybody's going to wag me. Not everybody's going to make it. Let's see here. No, on KuCoin, they have these things called leverage tokens, 3 Ls or 3 S's, for example, Sol 3. Oh, that's interesting. No, I haven't looked at that. I'll have to take a look at that. AVAX is still a good buy, seems to be falling behind the other alts. So AVAX moves a little bit slower than the other layer ones, right? It's up 29.5% on the week, up 32% on the month so far, still down 20% on the year. We came up as high as $26, hitting our macro targets. As you can see here in the Crypto Citadel as well, we were talking about AVAX back in, where are we? Back on May 1st, right? We were looking at targets between 25.88 to 26.36 before running to 29 to about $36. AVAX was sitting down at $21.69 on May 1st when we were talking about it in the Crypto Citadel. Where is AVAX at right now? AVAX is currently right at our first set of targets here, right? We hit our first set of targets within this Q1 range of 26.92 and 26.36. Our next main targets above that are 29.91 and $36 to the upside for AVAX. So I do believe in the long term, AVAX is going to be running back towards that $50 range. Once we start getting above $30, it's going to potentially build a lot of support there. It's had a lot of support above $30 for quite some time. So getting above $30 is very critical for Avalanche. And then obviously that $51 price point is going to be the ultimate give or take situation, where if we break $51, we're probably going to be running for like $75 to $100 for Avalanche. Now, if we don't flip $51, then that could be all it wraps. But even then, from here to then, it's already 100+%. About to FOMO and join the Crypto Citadel. Dark, you're missing out, bro. It's not FOMO. It's strategic. You're entering a private community where you're getting massive amounts of data so that you can use to game plan into your portfolio, into your day trades, into your long-term trades. If you're building a portfolio without data, what are you doing? You're just gambling, right? People that are in the stock market, right? Stockbrokers, financial planners, all these people that are looking at stocks, looking at building portfolios, they're taking in as much data as they possibly can from all their charts, all their AIs, all their employees, whatever it is, to find the best possible deals, the things that haven't ran yet, the trends that are getting started, right? The trends that are breaking, so that they can make decisions. You can't make decisions on a portfolio just blindly by jumping on somebody's live stream and listening for 2 minutes, right? If you're not taking in hard data with charts and targets and evidence and reason and logic why certain things can happen, then you're just gambling. So yeah, and if you're joining the Crypto Citadel, you can get the first month 50% off by using the promo code Citadel. The link is in my bio or down in the description, depending on where you're watching. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes here, hitting that subscribe. Why does a certain coin need to hit a certain price target to keep going up? Because those targets to the upside are going to prove whether we flip resistance. And if we flip resistance, most likely that when you flip resistance, you can flip it into support, making that support, meaning you're building a new baseline before continuing to go up. If you don't do that, if you go to a certain target and get rejected, then that means, hey, that resistance is still really strong. We're not being able to break that just yet. We're looking to come back down, find some more support before we can retest that resistance. How much is the Citadel? The Citadel is $99 a month, which is $3.30 per day. And let me tell you, if you're not getting $3 worth of information every single day in the Crypto Citadel, I'm clearly not doing my job. But you can ask anybody in there the amount of charts that I am posting every single day. We had a live stream today, an exclusive live stream happening in there today. We're gonna have another one later this week, right? We're taking trades. We posted a swing trade here for AVAX, not for AVAX, for Uniswap in the Citadel today. Like the amount of data and analysis that we did, 4 daily trade setups last night for this morning, right, which have all been playing out. So the amount of charts that I post for daily time frames, for macro time frames, every single day in there is worth more than $3.30 per day. Bitcoin is currently at 104,000. Yes, it is. Made money today. Let's go, Rudy G. Rudy G is a Citadel member in the house. If you guys have questions about the Citadel, ask Rudy G. Don't ask me. Ask him. He's in there. He can speak for it if it sucks or if it doesn't suck. Let's see here. Francine in the house. Good to see you, Francine. Appreciate you smashing those likes. Let's see here. Which means it's going to go up as you mentioned on the last video. What's going to go up in the last video? Talk about Bitcoin at 104K. Yeah, we need to flip that 104. We can close that daily candle above at 105,000 or higher. We're going to be running for that $108,000 situation. Rudy G says, really good information. Thoughts on Floki? Let's go take a look. Obviously, Floki and all the major meme coins, right, that are $1 billion market cap plus that tested the time, have sustained its test of time, right? Floki, Pepe, Brett, Whiff, Bonk, Floki. Which other one am I missing? I know I'm missing another one. Those always tend to do well, right? They always have strong recoveries. They also melt really fast when we hit resistance, right? That is the beauty of it. That's what happens with meme coins. So Floki is up 51% right now. I got to go take a look at an updated chart. I haven't been able to update this chart in a while. But I wouldn't be buying Floki right now or some of these other meme coins, not because I don't believe in them, but because I would wait for a retracement first before jumping in. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Guys, if you're not in the Crypto Citadel already, what are you waiting for? Hey, brother, would you recommend Keystone Pro 3 cold wallet? I've never used a Keystone wallet, but I have seen them. They look really cool. They're fully gapped and, have like completely disconnected from the internet in all kinds of ways. So I am very interested in buying one and having one. I definitely don't see anything wrong with a hardware wallet like Keystone for sure. Guys, I appreciate all of you guys jumping in here, smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. I'm Blockchain Crusader. Make sure you're joining the Crypto Citadel. Get 50% off your first month with the promo code Citadel. You can join by going to the link in my bio or in my profile or in my description, depending where you're watching. Guys, until next time, see ya.